Welcome to Feng Shui Living, the podcast designed for busy women who want to de-stress, live with intention, and create a home that truly supports their well-being. Each week, I'll bring you practical tips, insightful ideas, and simple strategies to enhance both your home and your life. Let's get started. Quick pause before we jump in. If you love this podcast, you will love my book, Aligned at Home. Think of it as your design and energy guidebook to creating a space that supports your well-being and your goals. You can get a signed copy over on my website, purelivingwithlisamorton.com, or snag it on Amazon or wherever you buy books. I hope you enjoy it. Hello, and welcome back to Feng Shui Living. I am your host, Lisa Morton, and oh my goodness, I'm so glad I hit record because I was already chatting, having so much fun with today's guest. You guys know I don't do a ton of guests, but this year I'm going to push a little more. I want to have some more interesting people on because, gosh, I have been meeting in the past few years some of the most fascinating people, and I can't wait to share them with you. Welcome today to Karmen Fink. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Lisa. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, so Karmen actually spent over 20 years in corporate. She was unhappy and burned out. Now is a quantum career transition coach, which sounds so cool. We'll have you explain what that is. But also, Karmen guides women to reclaim forgotten parts of themselves, trust their inner wisdom, and boldly step into careers that reflect their purpose and their power. Oh, even just reading that sounds so powerful, Karmen. She's also a certified quantum mind-body therapist. She blends intuition, neuroscience, quantum embodiment, and strategic clarity to help women not just pivot careers, but own their next level calling.
Yep. It's what I'm here to do.
And you're an animal lover.
And I'm an animal lover and a numerologist, and somehow it all comes together.
Isn't that so fun? And it was so fun. I met Karmen, maybe 2 years ago through a women's organization that we both belonged to. And instantly I was like, I like this woman. She's really interesting. And we've just over time had some really interesting conversations. I had a numerology session with her maybe last summer, I believe, and it was fascinating. And so I was like, I need to get you on the podcast.
Thank you.
So thanks for taking time out of your day. Tell us a little something else about you that maybe would be a surprise or interesting. Before we jump, I have it. When I think of you, I think of the banana people baseball.
Banana ball?
Yeah. I don't even know anything about it. But when I see it on TV, I think of you.
I found them in 2024, Savannah Bananas, and I quickly fell in love with the concept of fans first, right? And I love the heart of the organization and the give back that they have for fostering families, and they highlight foster families. And for me, especially learning from Jesse Cole, who is the co-founder with his wife, it's essentially really what you and I do, right? It's sharing our heart and our wisdom and talent with other people. And I am a party animal fan. They now have 6 teams, and I promise I will not talk long about it because I could be here forever talking about it. And they have these 2 new teams, and I am on the wait list. So we're gonna, manifest and quantum some tickets.
Wow. Anything else we should know about you?
I love animals. I have a cat, and I'm vegan. I went vegan in 2025.
Okay.
And that has I feel so much better. Just everything's different now. 2025 was my healing year personally.
Ooh.
And everything I know that I am a different person now, especially walking into, I know we're going to talk about numerology, right? Walking into this new 1-year cycle.
Yes.
And it's just fascinating. You look in the mirror and you're thinking, I don't recognize myself anymore.
Wow. So I asked Karmen to come and talk about numerology because if we have worked together, I may have done a numerological report for you following your home. I dig into the address. Your home, the address has so much power. But I know just a bit about numerology. I've studied just a bit. Karmen could just talk circles around the little bit of knowledge I have. So I invited her to come and talk deeper about numerology because also we have recently moved from a 9-year into a 1 year. There's so much commotion online, so much talk, and I don't think a lot of people really know what it's about. So I was hoping you could provide some clarity. So let's first talk a little bit about just what numerology is and maybe how you got started in it.
I love this question. So, numerology, the science, the study of numbers, it actually started back in 31 BC when numbers were abstract symbols. So, it actually started 6th century BC. Pythagoras founded a school based on his theories of number vibrations. And similar to the work you do, everything is energy. Everything is energy vibration. And it's the same thing with numbers. And so he actually showed numbers could exist without music and astronomy, but music and astronomy could not exist without numbers. What I always share with people is that the universe is written in code. It's actually written using numbers. So are you familiar with DOS code? This is my favorite example. Have you ever seen DOS code? So this shows you how old I am. In college, I had to learn DOS, the code of DOS, which is letters and numbers written together.
Okay.
In order to learn how to write an email. So in the background, and even today, every technology piece that we're recording this podcast on, our phones, you see like a front face of it, but the back end of it is all like a code of some sort.
Okay, sure.
I'm familiar with DOS code because I learned DOS code to learn how to write an email, right? So that's really literally the universe in general is written in these energetic numbers, which is why I think I love what you do, because it's still in the background. It's energy. Everything is energy. So,
my goodness.
And how I got started?
Yes, please share, because I think this is a very interesting tidbit. How you, before you got into numerology, what were you doing?
So my degree is in marketing and sales, public relations degree. And I probably had 2 jobs out of my over 20 plus years in corporate, I call it corporate land, that were actually marketing sales. And I was in and out of banking, believe it or not.
That's the best part.
I was a float teller, what they called a float teller, all through college. And it was something that I just fell into, right? I know nothing's a coincidence. And my last 14 plus years in corporate, because the marketing, the world had tanked, the financial world had tanked. So marketing kind of went away. It was the last thing anybody was hiring for. So I went back to my roots, which was banking. And you name it, I did it. And we laugh because I've always been surrounded by numbers.
You can't help it. You're just surrounded by numbers.
And then, interestingly, it connects with this 9-year cycle we just ended. In 2017, I was let go of that corporate land job. Okay. I already had my business.
Okay.
Which looked totally different.
Okay.
What it looks like now. And in 2018, 2019 is when I had met a gentleman. And he immediately knew information about me when I gave him my birthday and my full birth name and the spelling of it. And he started to share information with me, and I backed up from him and I said, I'm sorry, how do you know that about me? I'm crying because it's personal information that only you would know. And it's because of the numerology. He was running the numbers in his head. And that was my teacher. I immediately was like, I just knew I needed to learn it. And so shortly after that meeting, he started to teach classes.
It's like a way to work with numbers, but in a more heart-connected way versus counting bills at the drive-through window.
I was balancing general ledgers every single morning. And I'm thinking, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
When you look back, you realize everything that you learned really was for a bigger reason, a larger reason. So,
Sure. Even those really hard lessons,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh my. So I want to later get into everything you're offering because you're doing really amazing work right now. But let's stick to the numerology right now.
Yeah.
So we have a little background, a little history. Can you talk to us a bit about maybe the big commotion about it being a 1 year, and maybe even touch on last year because I was a 9. I'm sure there's a connection there. What can you tell us about that?
The last 9-year cycle, that is the last time we'll ever see a cycle like that in our lifetime. And let me back up and say how do we arrive to the fact that this was a one year cycle? In numerology, we add up the numbers to get it to a single digit. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, get it down to a single digit is 1. So think about the last 9 years, 2017 to 2025, everything that you experienced, all of the lessons. And that's why for my community, I kept harping, honestly, on everyone and saying, let go. Kind of like you share, let go of things in your home, right? The items in your home that you find and the connection that you have with those items. And really, that is what I did most of 2025 as I did my personal healing
Okay.
and learning and growing. I was finding things that I didn't even know I had, family heirlooms that my sister and I had been wanting for a while. I had no clue I had them. Family heirloom, I didn't even know who it belonged to or where it came from. So it was extremely important for you to let go
Mm-hmm.
of people, places, things, situations, whatever it is, those material items, because it holds weight.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's even like for you restructuring your home, right? New paint, new whatever, but letting go of that old, because in this new 1 year cycle, it's literally the seed that you're planting. So you are that physical seed that's being planted in this new energy that's going to continue for the next 9 years. So think of it as you are creating a new structure.
Okay.
So really, what are you focused on every single day? Because in the quantum, we call it energy stacking, where so you said at the beginning of the podcast how you normally don't have on guests. Well, the more guests that you have, the more people that you reach out to, that's something, that energy is what you're going to be creating over the next 9 years, right? Because you're signaling to the universe that I'm serious about this. So now we're in a really pivotal moment right now of if there's anything you didn't let go, do it now so that you can experience that new you. I know everybody's big about the new year, new me mantra,
Mm-hmm.
but this year it's actually true. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
truly a new Lisa being restructured in the universe. And to me, that includes your home. That includes everything, right, that surrounds you.
Mm-hmm. And I always tell my clients a lot of times it's not that you have to clutter clear everything. Sometimes it's that one thing, that one very symbolic thing, that one thing that's blocking you, that's standing in your way, and you know it, but it's so hard to address. But this is your cue, right?
Do it. And honestly, for me, it was rearranging my home.
Okay.
So in one of your podcast episodes, you had mentioned the front door.
Mhm.
And was it the mouth of the chi? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Where all the energy comes in. So it's so
Yes.
powerful.
So I had a kitty condo that was kind of in the way
Okay.
because when I had 2 cats, which one had passed away a couple years ago, they rule my home, right? But my current cat is getting older now and she's kind of slowing down. You know, she's 16.
Okay.
And so, not this last Christmas, the Christmas before, I rearranged as much as I could and I moved it. I moved it to a different corner of the condo. And then in 2025, I got rid of it altogether because she's not using it. And I
Mm.
totally rearranged my office. So even rearranging like one piece of furniture is huge.
Huge to set that tone for the one, I've never been a big New Year's resolution person. I think it's a great time to start poking around, thinking, journaling, wondering, and implementing some things, and see what happens. Maybe you're going to plan to get up and go to the gym every day, and that's your plan. And then once you're in it, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired every day. I can't do it. I need to trim it back, right? It's this time to reassess. And then my kind of jumping off point is always the Chinese New Year.
Exactly.
So I think it's a great time right now to experiment, to go through any final releasing you need to do, to really reassess. And
Yep.
then we'll have that time at the Chinese New Year, February 17th. We'll be moving into the year of the fire horse. But let's get back to numbers. So, what can you tell us about this one year that we've heard so much about?
Um, it's definitely the structure. So ask yourself, let's use this as an example. Start to look at your bank account. Start to look at where you're spending your time. Is that what you want to experience for the next 9 years?
Ooh, that's really powerful. That might be a
Is that
really good journal prompt. Okay,
right? Is
pause.
that
That's a great journal prompt. Take inventory and see if that's where you want to spend the next 9 years.
that's how big this is? Who
So
are
it
you
really is
spending?
big. It's not just hoopla on social media.
Nope. Nope. My teacher explains it as a rocket ship. So
Okay.
I'm going to ask you then, who's steering your rocket ship? And who do you want in your rocket ship with you? Now, I talk about it as a boat analogy because that's what resonates for me. Or if you want to say who's in my car, right?
Okay.
So really ask yourself what's really important to me, not what someone else told me was important, but what do I desire? What do I really want? And so for me, I look at it with careers, right? And even I've been listening and consuming your podcasts. And so I'm really looking around at my own home saying, does it still make sense for me to live where I'm living? Do I
Mm.
still want these colors or do I want new colors? And I know that that sounds kind of trivial, but everything matters.
Mhm.
That's how important this 1 year cycle is.
We think a
And
color on
and
a wall is just a pretty color, but it's telling us who we are, who to be. Just that color is something simple as the energy, the vibration of that color.
yep, all of it.
Mm, my
So
goodness.
like you said, now is the time to do your assessment. And that's what I've been doing. Doing an assessment. Does this really make sense for me to still pour my energy into whatever it is, right? This relationship, this friendship, this community, you know?
I think it'd be interesting, maybe an interesting exercise, and maybe I'll create a download for the newsletter or something, but going using the Bagua map with the 9 different energy centers, 9 different guas. You know, some people look at it and they're like, "Oh, that's great and all," but I'm like, it's beyond a tool for your home. It's just a tool to think. Like, how do I feel about 11 relationships? How do I feel about creativity and children? How do I feel about my health? And just reassess, do some journaling and really explore, because sometimes we get in our zone, right? We're focusing only on this, and we don't waver, we don't explore. And oftentimes the children and creativity gua, I have a lot of people that maybe they, like me, they don't have children, and you don't have children, but your pets are your children. But it's also an aspect of just being a child. Like, when was the last time you giggled like a child, or you acted silly or playful, or just got so creative and you weren't perfectly painting, but just scribbling all over and having fun?
Yep.
I
Yep.
think it's
And actually, as you mentioned that, the Bagua map, I used that you had shared with us a year or so ago for my vision board.
Fantastic. That is such
And
a fun way to lay out a vision board.
yeah, and I still have that. And, I had my vision board, but then I did your layout, totally made a difference. And it also helped me think about other things I didn't have on my vision board to add.
Right?
So I would encourage anyone who's listening to this, do that same thing, right? Use the Bagua map for your vision board as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Typically, this time of year, I do a lot of workshops and classes using the Bagua. I didn't schedule, for some reason, I just feel like this time period, I'm loving this quiet, a little slower. I've had a couple busy days this week, but for the most part, it's been slow and peaceful. And I've really been enjoying that.
Yeah.
P.S. If you do really want a vision board workshop, let me know. We'll figure it out because we still have a little time, especially before the Chinese New Year. But the Zoom ones are super easy. But there's definitely been a different energy lately, just low, and I don't mean depressing, just calm, quiet, still.
Mm-hmm. We're still not in the hype 20, what I'm going to call hype 2026 energy. It'll
Okay.
happen when Aquarius season hits,
Okay.
which of course is before Chinese New Year. I'm very similar to you, right? For me, I look at it as I get 3 New Years, right? So the man-made New Year in January,
Okay.
which by the way, I did eat the whole 12 grapes at midnight, sit underneath the table, right? Have you
Is
heard
that
about
a
that?
thing? I've never heard of it.
I forget what culture, but it's different intentions, right? So mine
Sure.
is to meet my mate, which I know I'm meeting my mate this year. Um, so that's a new year, right? The man-made new year. And then we've got the Chinese New Year, but then my
Uh-huh.
birthday is in March, the beginning of March. So
Okay.
for me, your birthday is always a new year, especially with numerology, because that's when your personal
Sure.
year starts.
That is right. Say, okay, can you explain that again? Because I did not know that until we had our call last summer.
So your personal year goes birthday to birthday. So you always have, in my opinion, right? You've got the chance to start again every birthday because you're shifting from one energy to another energy as well. So not only do you have the energy of the what I call the collective energy, and then you have the astrology piece too, which I think you had on an astrologer as
Mm-hmm.
well. So it's all about working with the energies, which that's all this is having the knowledge and understanding what is happening in your surroundings. Same thing with your home, right? And making those changes to actually work with the energies. So for me, I don't think I'm quite within the 52 days. So 52 days before your birthday is when you start to shift energies,
Okay.
right? So that's why if things kind of maybe feel wonky or you're like, oh my gosh, I need to do this right now. That's why.
That's
It's
interesting
almost like,
because what was 52? So my birthday is November 5th. I'll turn 45 and I launched my book on the 7th. But it was like August, September. I was talking to my editor and the whole publishing team. And we're like, do we do it now? Do we wait till the new year? And I'm like, I was like a little kid stomping. I'm like, it's done. I have momentum. We're going to do it now. I don't want to wait. I was just like the little bratty kid, but I was so excited. And maybe that's kind of what was happening there.
yeah, we know it's all about intuition. And so it's like, are you really listening to your intuition? Or are you trying to control it? So are you in
Mm.
your mind and brain and ego trying to control, which is not going to work very well in this new energy once it gets going. It's all about letting go and um, trusting yourself. I never say trust the process, it's trusting yourself.
Do you have any tips for doing that? Meditation, mantra? Do you have anything that you personally For that slowing down, that trusting. I mean, for me, it is meditation. I love to meditate. I love to journal. That helps me get clear, helps me get out of
Yeah.
my head and into my heart and into my belly, my gut, my, you know.
All of that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have learned doing this quantum work is a couple of things, getting in coherence with nature. So I think you like to go on walks. I love to go on walks. I found a new place here locally to go last year where I go all the time. So it's getting out into nature and going on walks. Try not to be on your phone. Be present,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the other way is be present. And you can do one or two things. You can do what they call box breathing, where you inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4, hold for 4.
Okay.
Or, which is a lot of this is regulating your nervous system, right? Um, the one thing I love to do is just one of these hand on heart, hand on belly.
I know. I'm going to do it with you. Everyone, hand on your heart, hand on your belly. We're just going to take a moment here and breathe.
You can breathe. And then if you ask your question or ask a question, a yes, no question. And if your body contracts, it's a no. And if your body just feels like light and airy, it's a yes. So it's listening to your body.
You know what? A trick I love to do is play with my name. I don't know if you've ever, a lot of times if you're learning to like connect with your body like that, like my name is Linda,
Yeah.
right? My name is Alice, and you just feel it, right? But then my name is Lisa, and it's like, ah.
Yep.
Okay, let's change gears. Let's talk about your other work because I want everyone to know a little bit about it.
Thank you.
Tell me all the stuff.
Quantum career transition coaching.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. So quantum mind body therapy, there's a lot of different facets to it. In general, with quantum mind body therapy, because of everything that we've learned with that, what I've learned from my teacher, Leanna, we literally can help anybody. But you can't market to anybody. So, what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about your purpose. Why are you really here? Because I believe that everyone was given a purpose, and your purpose shifts throughout the different seasons in your life. And it's simple. If that's one thing I learned, especially doing quantum mind body therapy work, is it's really simple. So it's working in the quantum energies. And it's when you start to live in what we call spherical reality, spherical living, everything else just goes away. So things being difficult and hard, that's what we call, I call it the 3D sandbox. And it just goes away. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not in your experience. And it doesn't have to be in your experience. Time isn't real. You hear that all the time. When I work with clients, it's actually giving them practical tools to implement that into their life every single day, because that's quantum living. So think of it as you're actually flying in an airplane, like 30,000 feet above,
Mm-hmm.
and everything feels easy and light and joyful. And to me, that's what it feels like. It's very peaceful to be
You
in
know,
that quantum energy.
I think it's interesting because it can sound probably like some people think of my work. It sounds really woo and out there, but it's just alignment. That's all
Yeah.
it is. And it's not incredibly hard. It's not. You just have to slow down and be aware. And I say learn from, learn from the right resources. Um, so how do you go about, how do you do one-on-one coaching? Or are you doing classes or workshops?
Right now, I have packages for one on one coaching,
Okay.
and it really depends on what you're looking to achieve. If it's solely just like that career piece,
Mm-hmm.
and where are you right now? Because a lot of women don't consider themselves a career transition. It could be a stay at home mom and they're just not sure what's next. What does this look like for me? because we tie our identity into our job, our job, right? And really that career, that job is just our vehicle for us to truly live our bigger purpose. And then my newest package, which I'm extremely excited about, is called Quantum Reinvention, because
Ooh.
now I have licensing to walk women through programs from my teacher for mother wound, father wound, narc healing, awakening ancient gifts. So it's a deeper dive where in 6 months we really get that healing done.
Wow.
And you start to see how that's impacted all of your decisions in life and in every area of your life. And I'm even contemplating on doing maybe a group for entrepreneurs
Very
to
cool.
also assist them as well, right? So
Fantastic.
maybe you're not charging what you should be charging. Then
Mhm.
let's do a deep dive. But my goal is that let's get to the root of it. Let's heal it for good
Mhm.
so that your new 9-year cycle looks completely different, right?
This new cycle is fresh and new, and we're all gonna just
Yeah.
have a great one.
Well, and corporate land is changing so much, and I said that back in 2020, that it's never going to be the same. Jobs are not going to look the same at
Mhm.
all. And we're seeing that right now with AI.
Right? It's
So,
fascinating. It's so wild to think what's next, what's the future, what 10 years from now when we move into the next one cycle, what
exactly.
is the world going to be like?
And it's going to look, I think it's going to look completely different again.
Hmm.
And so, my goal with every person who I work with, every woman, to sit down and say, yes, it's definitely what lights you up. It's your purpose, and you're going to be sharing your gifts and sharing your talents, but it also can't be taken over by AI in the future. Like it's a let's set you up for success. And I love to look at numerology, the numerology piece, because
Hmm.
when you look at the life path number, which is adding up your birthday and getting
Hmm.
it down to that single digit, that helps us understand that career aspect too.
Mm.
And then when you go deeper in numerology, I can see the lessons that you're going to be learning throughout life. So that's where that healing piece comes in. You got codependency, then let's really focus on mother wound. So it all really goes together.
Oh my goodness. I've actually been thinking a lot about the whole AI and my work because I've had people reach out, "Hey, I put into ChatGPT this how to feng shui my house." And I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm sure it can figure out a bagua layout, but like I just, here's the thing. I never want to sound like anything's wrong because I do believe so much of it is intention. If you have beautiful pure intention of creating a beautiful space for you and your family, that will come through. But you also don't want to mess with the energy too much because you might cause some problems. You can send some energy in some directions you don't want to send it in. Like,
Correct.
don't direct the energy to the toilet with the lid up, please. Whatever you do.
I always remind people Chat GPT is as good as the information that it received.
Which isn't the number one source Reddit? I
I
think I
that
read
I
that
don't know.
recently.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Hey,
I
it's
use it
interesting
for
and
other
it's
things.
fun to play with, but
Yeah, I use
I
it
don't
for other
know.
things. But my whole thing
Mm.
is you're the expert though,
Hmm.
right? So why not just hire the expert who's been doing it for how many years and get that personal because I want to feel your energy.
Right. And
And
get yours as, I'm sure you want to work with your client. It's not just the numbers. It's not just what their goals are. It's their own energy, their
right.
essence, their, so much deeper.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I laugh and say, I know there's a lot of quantum work out there, but there are, I can think of 2 or 3 quantum practices that you will never find anywhere else that we know. And one of my clients was sick. And I asked her, one, do you believe in a complete quick healing? And 2, are you open to this? Right? Because if not, it's not going to work. And she was really, really sick, physically sick.
Hmm.
And so she's like, yeah, I'll try whatever at this point. And we did it. And she goes, oh my gosh, I feel better already. And I'm like, well, that's kind of the whole point of
It's alignment, folks.
it.
It's alignment. Karmen, this
Anyway,
has been so fantastic. I'm going to be sure to add all your contact info in the newsletter, in the show notes. If anyone wants to reach out and work with Karmen, again, she does work one-on-one. So this is a perfect time of year to take that on and get to working with her before we get to that Chinese New Year. And if you're listening to this down the road a few months, it's fine. Still reach out, and I'm sure you can still have a wonderful year, 1 year. And any final things you want to share?
listen to your heart, follow your heart. That was the one piece of advice I wish I had as my younger self. I still followed my heart, but later in life. So always listen to your heart because it doesn't lie.
I think that's a beautiful way to end. Karmen, thank you for being here. Everyone, thank you for joining and hanging out with us today. I wish you a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Special thanks to our sponsor, Elevated Living School of Holistic Design and Feng Shui. For more information, head over to the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time.